Hello and welcome to IndiaPostLive.com, India's first live and interactive news conversation web TV. I'm Prachi Jatanya. And what a cracker of a match, edge of the seat action between the Mumbai Indians versus Rajasthan Royals. And of course, Mumbai Indians made sure that they have a thriller of a victory. Definitely Corey Anderson stealing the show. And of course, Tare also getting some sort of a spot in the limelight. To tell us more about the highlights of that match and the other one with Kings 11 Punjab versus Delhi Daredevils, we have in the studio Mr. Chetan Sharma, former Indian cricketer, and also Mr. Raman Bhanot, who's a cricket commentator himself. Thank you so much both for joining us at the conversation. We have Shamya Dasgupta joining us from Bangalore, senior editor with Wisden India. He will also take us through some of the high points of that match. I'll come to you, Mr. Sharma. You had definitely predicted this, but what kind of a scintillating match?
I don't think so. You can see a better match than this. You know, why did we wait it for all those 14 games? Why couldn't have we just played last two balls and say, okay, Rajasthan or Mumbai will go? Like, what an excitement. The 14 games we played, and if the decision has to come on the last ball,
right.
what an excitement it can be. And Mumbai Indians, I must praise them. You know, first leg in UAE, not a single game without Malinga winning yesterday's game. I think it's amazing. It's like it's always said, na paisa vasool game. It's a paisa vasool game. Basically.
Most definitely. Mr. Bhanot, Wankhede home ground, it was great for the Mumbai Indian fans. Even Amitabh Bachchan tweeted that he was, hooked to that game.
Well, I for one feel that, as Chetan said, paisa vasool definitely, and it was paisa vasool for Corey Anderson. Mumbai Indians had splurged 4.5 crores on this one player, and he was not living up to that billing. What a match, what a stage to pick to score that unbeaten 95. If it hadn't been for Corey Anderson yesterday, I don't think Mumbai would have been in the hunt. And his coming good with the bat has now powered them into the eliminator.
Right.
Yeah, they're into the eliminator match, and that means they've got momentum going for them. You know, having won a game like this, with the kind of target they had, 190. It was actually a fact. If you look at the batting and you say, okay, in T20 cricket, if 190 can be chased down in under 15 overs, then what's a safe score on a batting track?
Definitely. I'll bring in Shamya at this point. Shamya, what are the big high points besides Corey Anderson's great performance for you?
Well, quite a few. Not just high points, actually, to be honest. You've been saying highlights of the match, but lowlights as well. There are a few lowlights that made the match as interesting as it was. But certainly, ever since the match over this morning on Twitter and everywhere else, people are talking about how it really couldn't have been, if there was anything wrong going on, it couldn't have been done better. Again, I never believed that anything of that sort was going on. It was just an outstanding cricket match, because I don't think anyone could have really scripted it so well. I think that's impossible. But certainly Corey Anderson, Aditya Tare, he had to hit a boundary, at least a boundary. He hit a six, and there were no second chances. It was just that one ball that he had to do whatever he could. There were good contributions for Mumbai right through. Of course, Corey Anderson shining through, making a difference. Ambati Raidu played a little blinder as well, didn't he? But lowlights, I think Rajasthan Royals, not just in this match, but in the past few matches, have really messed up their campaign. They started resting players without any real reason, tampering with their batting order, their composition of their team. Even yesterday, Shane Watson opening when Ajinkya Rahane has been their most consistent batsman right through, wasting a lot of balls at the start, not giving Rajasthan the start they wanted. And James Faulkner, bowling those leg stump full tosses. It's not smart. This is the kind of cricket these players play. They practice for death bowling. They are limited over specialists. I know a lot of people right now, and I'm sorry to bring this up, might be thinking about Chetan Sharma and that ball against Javed Miandad. I'm sorry to bring this up, really, but those were different days. Right now, everybody trains every single day to bowl in the death, to get those Yorkers right, and to let them full tosses in the last over. That's criminal. You're talking about the money Mumbai splurged on Corey Anderson. I think James Faulkner and Rajasthan Royals, really, this was criminal bowling on the part of James Faulkner. So quite a few lowlights on their part as well.
Yeah, Shamek, at least you remember me. Everybody remembers me, of the last ball. Whenever something happens in the last ball, people do remember me. And the best,
But that's not fair, Chetan. You're the
I
first man to have taken a hat-trick in a World Cup. People need to remember that,
That as well.
they don't, they always say, na, badnami
No,
mein
I
naam hai
remember you
to.
for a lot of good things as well. So this was just a parallel between the two incidents, and you happen to be in the studio.
Yeah,
That's
and Shamek, I can just wanted to tell everybody, like you might be practicing as hard as you can in the nets. When a situation like this, I have gone through that situation in 1986. Your body stop working, your mind is working, your legs are not working, even your arm is not working. And I could well imagine. I was watching the match yesterday. I could well imagine what Faulkner would have gone through, because he was trying to do something, and suddenly it turned out to be a low full toss, and which Tare hit it, and after that, Tare's excitement. It happens with any
Correct.
Spur of
bowler
the
at all.
moment,
But
right.
the
Can
real
I just say
surprise-
one small thing, Chetan?
Yeah.
Everybody still remembers what happened with you. Everybody will forget about James Faulkner, but because this is just so common these days, sixes of the last ball really don't matter anymore. And that's I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunate, but that's how it is today.
Well, you're so right when you say that, Shamya. But the other thing for me which was very perplexing, and I'll come back to the point that Shamya had raised, and the last ball 6. A couple of deliveries before that, he'd again bowled a similar full toss on outside leg stump. It wasn't even on leg stump, and he got whacked. Simple scenarios. There were a couple of things that went drastically wrong for Rajasthan Royals and James Faulkner. Almost every bowler was being creamed. But as a bowler, what do? You know the batsman needs to hit you for a 6 or a 4 to win the match. As a left armer to a new man coming in, the first thing that you do is come around the wicket and try and cramp him for room.
Yes.
I was very surprised why James Faulkner never chose round the wicket line.
Raman, these are the times basically you get choked. This is what I'm saying. Like these are the moments you get choked. You don't think.
Somebody could have come around. There was so much time, Chetan. Somebody from the think tank could have come around.
Dhaval Kulkarni ran from fine leg, spoke something to Faulkner. Watson was there with him all the time. And the more the people come to you, will make you confused. They're not going to help you out. They're going to confuse you, and this is actually what happened to Faulkner.
Yeah, and the other thing that I thought that Rajasthan Royals really got wrong yesterday, there were 2 overs left for Praveen Tambe. He bowled that 1 over when they needed about 29 of 12 balls odd,
Yes.
and he bowled that very economical over given the circumstances. It wasn't the most economical over overall, but it was still very much on the button. He had 2 more overs to come. Why wasn't Shane Watson keyed into things, and he could have used Praveen Tambe a lot earlier? Why save up the overs when you're not playing the full 20 to make it to the playoffs? You should have played it like a 15-over game.
But a big boost definitely for the Mumbai Indians and their confidence, for the whole team as a morale. You could see Neeta Ambani celebrating. You'd see a lot of tweets going out from the fans of Mumbai Indians from across the board.
See, Sachin Tendulkar, the way he was jumping, it looks like he's like India's won the World Cup 2011 again. And we've seen the excitement of Sachin Tendulkar in 2011, the same ground in Wankhede Stadium.
Yes.
We saw it yesterday. And morale of Mumbai Indians will be like more than 100%. But the problem will be for Chennai now. And Chennai, if Chennai supporters will be sitting and watching that game, they were just hoping, come Rajasthan, you come. We don't want to play Mumbai Indians. Because nobody wants to play Mumbai Indians. They can be very, very, they can play an important role. They can be very tough to you in a situation like this, because they have nothing at that time to lose. You lost first 5 games, I think so. IPL for 2014 were over for you. You came back with a big bang. You played superb cricket, and now I think so they are at big trouble for all the teams at the present.
It was commonly said, a lot of people trending, the most frequent comment on Twitter was what the match was straight out of Ripley's Believe It or Not, and Rajasthan Royals definitely could not believe it. I'll bring in our graphics at this point, and we'll analyze the impact index for the graphics. The highest impact bowler, Kevin Cooper with 2.93 rate, whereas the highest partnership building impact goes to Corey Anderson with the Mumbai Indians, whereas the Rajasthan Royals, the highest impact player was Sanju Samson with a 5.42 rate. Of course, Corey Anderson's name is coming up again. He was the highest impact player for the match at 8.07 rate. and the highest strike impact performance also goes to Corey Anderson. So definitely Corey Anderson standing out there, Raman.
Absolutely, but I'll make a point here. It just doesn't feature on what happened yesterday, but I think it'll have a bearing on what will happen, tomorrow when the playoff happens and Mumbai face off against Chennai. Without Lasith Malinga, Mumbai Indians were pretty certain the track that they would give for the match would be a batting track.
Right.
They had the big hitters, they had the impact batsmen. You talked about Corey Anderson, there's the Kieran Pollard there, Raidu has been in good form, Rohit Sharma can smack a few out, and we've seen what Tare can do. So they had the stroke makers, and I was expecting this before the match started, that it would be a belter of a track. Whatever Rajasthan would put up, Mumbai would fancy going after it. And I find a similar story is going to unfold, when they take on Chennai, because they don't really have the bowling wherewithal. Do Mumbai, if you look at it on paper, they don't have the kind of quicks that a Chennai would have, or for that matter, even a Rajasthan Royals had.
Right.
So it'll be a batting track. But what might come undone for Mumbai in that playoff would be that Chennai have got an equivalent number of big hitters who can pretty much take the game away from them.
Absolutely. Shamya, do you feel any good points there for Rajasthan Royals? I think they did a decent job in their batting performance, putting up that good score then.
Oh yes, they did. They did. They've had a wonderful set of cricketers, and I think I'm not a cricketer. Chetan Sharma is the cricketer here. I'm not a cricketer, so I do not know what about technicalities of cricket and what a cricketer should do and not do. But I do think that certain right decisions should be made in the back rooms, which Rajasthan messed up with. I've said this before and I'm saying it again. I wonder if they became complacent. They were fairly certain of making the playoffs at one stage. Then things just changed a bit. I think that's where they got it wrong. But certainly a lot to take back for them. I think they made wonderful choices with Rajat Bhatia and Dhaval Kulkarni and Praveer Tambe in their bowling right through the tournament. They've got a lot from those players. Sanju Samson and Karun Nair, outstanding young prospects. We knew about Sanju Samson last year. Karun Nair had a wonderful Ranji Trophy season, back-to-back three centuries towards the knockout stages of the Ranji Trophy. Quite a few runs in the Irani Cup as well. So Karun Nair has been one of these very exciting young batsmen from Karnataka, and Rajasthan have picked them. I think where they fell short also was in the contributions from their foreigners. Shane Watson had a couple of good knocks. James Faulkner, ever since that Australia series against India, where he took apart Ishant Sharma and many other bowlers, I think he's become more of a lower order hitter than an effective bowler. I wonder if that's correct. But he's more of a batsman today than a bowler. I thought Stephen Smith didn't get enough opportunities with the bat. I would have liked to see him get a few more hits out there. Brad Hodge did his bit. But, on the whole, I think they just didn't get enough from their overseas stars as much as the low-worth Indian players did for them. And but quite a few positives. Rajasthan has been my favorite team for many years because of their combination of players they've usually selected. The fact that Rahul Dravid is in their ranks of, who better to have in your ranks than Rahul Dravid? It's a wonderful team, and they'll get it right. I'm sure they'll get it right come next season. They've made a few mistakes, but nothing to be too gutted about.
We missed one thing on the graphics. The most upset player, Rahul Dravid.
Dravid.
I've never seen Rahul Dravid so upset. I played with him. I never seen him so upset when he was the captain of Indian team. Indian team were out of the qualifying 2007 World Cup. I never seen Rahul Dravid that upset. The way as soon as the match finished, if you would have seen he's thrown his cap. Like the most upset guy, because this is what Shamak was saying. I think so. They're planning. This is what I said in the last show also. Cricket is bigger than the cricketers or the administrators. This is it's been proved. They have too many changes. Why to bring Watson up when Nair is playing so well, or Rahane is batting so well? They would have either opened with Nair or with Rahane. Well, they have too many changes, and where actually Mumbai Indians with no Malinga and upset all over, they don't know what to happen. Definitely had an edge playing at home in front of the home crowd. I think so. When it comes to the knockout stage, we can see what can happen. In 15 overs, less than 15 overs, 14.3 overs, 190 runs being chased. Where the bowlers are going to go? Tell me. What will happen to the bowlers? And as a bowler, I'm sitting in the studios. I can well imagine it's very tough days ahead, because now it's a knockout game. Every game is a knockout game. You are going to see more than 100% from every team. They have worked hard for 38 days or 30 odd days, and now last 4 days left. They have to put everything in, and you're going to see the most excitement in the next four games actually.
Right, Raman. Any takeaways for what you thought about the Rahul Dravid, throwing his cap in frustration? It was very evident that he realized that something had gone terribly wrong with his team.
No, I think Paddy Upton and he had already realized that a lot was going wrong with the Rajasthan bowling during the innings as well. But I think there were 2 reasons, maybe just trying to read into the situation. Probably there might have been 2 reasons for it. One, he was so exasperated by the line that Faulkner bowled. I think, we've discussed this so many times. You didn't expect a bowler with that kind of experience to bowl at the line. Chetan might say that, bowlers clamp up, there might be, the rush of adrenaline, whatever have you. But you don't expect this from an international cricketer, and I completely agree with Shamya that the foreign players haven't really pulled their weight as much as the Indians or the lesser known Indian players have for Rajasthan Royals.
True.
That's absolutely.
That's one big comment.
One big comment on how things have gone. The other part was what I couldn't understand yesterday, and I'm sure the players were perplexed by it, as were the team management. When the stats read 14.3 overs, you had to score X number of runs to win. How is it that Ambati Rayudu gets run out on that 3rd ball of the over, Mumbai needing 2 to win of 1, they get 1 of 1, scores are level, and suddenly the entire permutation gets reworked? That's something that completely befuddled me. I think when we're talking about Rajasthan Royals and Rahul Dravid's reaction,
I think that was
that was the other aspect to the sheer frustration of how things could have slipped away.
And Rajasthan did actually started celebrating as soon as Ambati Rayudu got run out.
Yes, definitely. You could see it in the crowds, the disappointment among the Mumbai Indian fans versus the Rajasthan Royals. Shamya, we'll quickly take a look at the other match as well. Not something that too many people seemed excited about, but Kings 11 Punjab versus Delhi Daredevils. We'll put up the graphics for our viewers. Karanveer Singh is the highest impact bowler for Kings 11 Punjab, whereas the highest impact batsman, David Miller, with 7.11, and the highest impact player from Delhi Daredevils, Kevin Peterson, with 6.69. And you could see the highest economy impact performance, Jayadev Unadkar, 1.33, whereas highest partnership building was with Manan Vora at 0.41. Of course, Kevin Peterson getting it again the highest strike rate impact performance. Mr. Sharma, what do you think of that match?
He's the only player actually looked like he wanted to do something. Got a half century. After that, Karthik got 13. And one another guy got 12. It was like a telephone number for Delhi Daredevils, basically. And the way Delhi Daredevils have performed in last 2 seasons, like this season and the last season, finishing at the top, bottom, basically in the bottom thing. They have to really think about it. It's not the end of the day. It's not the matter of the players. I think so. It's the big fault in the management somewhere, because it cannot be. You keep rotating the players. Still, your performance is at the lower level. Definitely, there is a big problem in the managing the team. There is nobody who can really manage the team. Otherwise, it cannot happen. You can't go worse than this. What Delhi is in last 2 situations, and you never even look like coming up. At least in the middle of the thing.
The table.
And I think so. This is what they have to really look for next year, is to change instead of changing the players, change the entire management. I can bet you everything will be okay.
Well, I'll just add something to that. They had Gary Kirsten as their coach. Now, when you look at pedigree, I don't see anything wrong with pedigree there, because you had a guy who was had one of the most successful stints as coach, which rounded off with a 2011 World Cup triumph as well, at the helm of affairs. And I somewhere feel that there was a problem in the set of players selected and the roles given to them, which has probably resulted in the kind of debacle that Delhi have seen this year in IPL. Not really having the right kind of impact players at the top. In terms of your opener slots who can make the difference. The top 3 more often than not in a T20 game, are going to turn the table for you. You look at the top run scorers in IPL this season, you'll find a lot of them being batters who bat either 1, 2, 3. I mean, Corey Andersons and all are impact players, all right, but they'll be good at the end of the one-odd match where they can turn it on their head.
Right.
But otherwise, you'll find,
Consistent
Smith or a McCullum featuring in the top, or a Robin Uthappa, or, Glenn Maxwell's the aberration there if you look at the top 3. But they're the players who make an impact. Unfortunately for Delhi, you'll find a player called Jean-Paul Dumini who features in that top aggregate run scorers list of top 6 or 7 batsmen. And where does Dumini bat for Delhi? He'll bat at number 5. So are you giving him enough time? Are you giving him enough balls to reach structure and innings? I feel that that's where their choice was a little off.
Right. Shamya, your word and your thoughts?
Oh, well, if you win 2 out of 14 matches, pretty much everything that could go wrong is wrong. Chetan mentioned management, Raman mentioned batting order, choice of players and combinations, etc. Obviously, all of them were wrong, and that's why they won only 2 of 14 matches. I don't know, how can you put a finger on this? They overhauled their team. They retained not a single player. They brought in Kevin Peterson, who's done all right. Obviously, he started out being injured and took his time settling down. He did have Dinesh Karthik, who had a wonderful season last year. M. Vijay, who's been successful in the past, had a couple of good knocks this time as well. Kedar Jadhav, Jean-Paul Dumini, Manoj Tiwari. Pretty decent lineup there. Shahbaz Nadeem is all right. I mean, he's not quite a Sunil Narayan, but he's a decent bowler. I think he's not quite ready to be the frontline spinner yet. He can be the second spinner. So I think Delhi missed a frontline spearhead of a spinner as well. But it really, and as far as the overhaul is concerned, Gary Kirsten and Eric Simmons in the back room, that's as good as it gets. I really don't know. How do you explain what happened to them? Again, an overhaul. I think the auction will not happen next year, right? So the team will probably be the way it is for another season. So I suppose it comes down to just taking stock, getting these batting orders and everything else right. Dumini certainly, that's been something everyone's been talking about. The fact that Dumini should have been in the top 4 for sure, and not at number 5 or 6 where he was batting. That's pointless, complete waste of an outstanding talent. And Dumini also didn't get to bowl as much as he might have. He was pretty decent in the few opportunities he got. So Delhi have everything to change, to be honest. Obviously not the personnel that they're stuck with for another season at least. But everything else, absolutely. The attitude, the way they approach matches, the batting orders, all of it, completely.
Right. Before we wrap up the show, one final thing. Who's the team that you are supporting or cheering for in the final stages, Shamya? Which team would you be supporting? Rooting to win the cup?
Honest, I don't have a... I'm not quite a fan in that way, but I've always admired the Rajasthan Royals. It's been kind of my favorite team from the start because of the way they've done what they have done and achieved what they have achieved with not too many stars in their midst. From the very beginning. Even Shane Watson, who's their biggest star, in 2008 he was in a bit of a trough in terms of his career, and it was the IPL that sort of gave him the confidence and revived his career. So I've loved that aspect of the Rajasthan Royals, and certainly I'm happier if they win than when they lose. Let's just keep it.
And your favorites?
I started with RCB. I think, believe me, I started with RCB on day 1 of IPL. I was on the commentary box and said myself, and now I think so. I go back to Punjab. Where I go back to I go back to my roots and start supporting Kings 11. It's not because they are on the top, but at the end of the day, they say if you can't support RCB now, I might as well support my home team, and that is Kings 11 Punjab.
Great. So rooting for Kings 11 Punjab. What about you, Raman?
I'll stick my neck out here. I'm not going to pick a winner or who I think will win.
Right.
But what I'm going to stick my neck out and say is, I fancy Kolkata Knight Riders in the final, beating Kings 11 Punjab in that playoff match that they're going to play tomorrow. Purely because that's going to be in Eden Gardens, a surface much more suited to the style of play of Kings 11, to KKR as compared to Kings 11. So I'm putting my money there. I'm saying Kolkata Knight Riders make the cut. That's one. And two, I fancy Chennai to get the better of Mumbai day after. So I'm sticking my neck out here because I feel they've got much more consistent hitters in the CSK lineup as compared to Mumbai, who've been stops and starts. On a wicket at Wankhede, I fancy Chennai to post a better batting show than Mumbai.
I support Raman in that. End of the day, he's saying Kings 11 lose and play Chennai, and then Kings 11 play KKR again, and Kings 11 wins it. Oh, thank you.
Interesting. On that very happy note and spirited note, we'll let our viewers also pick their choices for the playoffs. Definitely KKR, Kings 11 Punjab and Rajasthan Royals among the top favourites in our studio at least.
So Shamya's just realigned to whoever gets through.
Great. Thank you so much, Shamya, for joining us from Bangalore, Senior Editor with Wisden India, and also our special guests in the studio, Mr. Raman Bhanot and Mr. Chetan Sharma, as always, for their spirited discussion. Please put your comments and feedback on our website and our Twitter handle @IndiaPostLive.com and take forward this conversation. Thank you so much and stay tuned.